Okay, welcome back to the Adventure Within channel. My name is Andrew Fritz. I'm a clairvoyant, healer, and meditation teacher. And in today's video, I'd like to talk about being able to differentiate your energy from everyone else's energy. Again, everything in the universe is energy, and there's these different ways to sense or pick up on energy. I want to highlight some of those different ways, different abilities that we all have. And the first one is your second chakra ability called clairsentience or clear feeling. So your ability to feel energy. This is your gut feeling. And so whether you're out with a friend or group of people or walking down a particular street or, you're on a date with somebody or in a job interview, you're feeling a certain vibe. And sometimes it feels great and other times it's off or weird and you don't like it. This is that second chakra ability. This is how you're picking up on that. Most people, I think, can relate to that. They might not call it being psychic. And there's just a lot of charge and confusion around the word psychic because psychic just means of or pertaining to the soul. So psychic ability really means soul ability. And we're all immortal souls. We all have these abilities. It's not for the select few, not just for people that are born with it or they had a near-death experience and it opened up one or multiple abilities. And that can happen, but actually we all have these abilities. It's just a matter of becoming aware of it and working with it and developing it. Another one that I like to highlight would be your fifth chakra ability called clairaudience or clear hearing, so hearing the energy. Another one would be your sixth chakra ability, clairvoyance or clear seeing, so being able to see the energy, working on that visual level, whether it's seeing energy as colors and symbols or mental image pictures, you're having these visions. And then the other one I like to highlight is your crown chakra ability. So this is that ability to just kind of know energy off the top of your head very quickly, very effortlessly. You're just knowing the energy, your knowingness. So these are just a few kind of major ways to sense energy or pick up on it. And again, we all have these abilities, and I think it's very beneficial to have these abilities turned on. And sometimes it's quite an advantage, actually. I work with all of these, and there might be a few that I mentioned that you go, oh yeah, this one particular really resonates with me the most, or I notice the most, or there might be a few of them. But you have them all. You can work with them all. The one that I really prefer, enjoy working with the most is clairvoyance. Again, seeing energy clearly and with neutrality, that you're not in judgment. It's not good or bad or right or wrong. It just is. And, the theme of today's video is being able to differentiate your energy from everyone else's. And again, you got to remember that you're psychic, you're sensitive, that you'll pick up on other people's energy, whether you're aware of it or not. And just because you're feeling a certain way or feeling a certain emotion or you're thinking a certain thought or a grouping of thoughts, it doesn't mean it's your energy. It doesn't mean it's your emotions or your thoughts. And that might sound weird. Some people might go, oh God, it's a relief to know that. And it might make sense to you. And for some people, it might go, that doesn't make any sense at all, because if I'm feeling the emotion or if I'm thinking the thought, therefore it must come from me. And that's just not the case. Again, you're sensitive, you're psychic, you can pick up on energy. Doesn't matter where you're at. If you're somewhere in close proximity to a person or a group of people, yeah, you can pick up on their energy. But, I was just living in Hawaii for basically a year, almost a year. And most people that I know are on the mainland. And so that's quite a big distance between me and them. Yet I could still sense their energy, even though I was that far away. So the physical distance doesn't really matter that much. So what is this whole advantage of, why would it be beneficial or important to have these abilities turned on, especially clairvoyance, is that I can start to look at the energy. I can start to see, hey, what am I handling here? I can sense something. I don't know how to pinpoint it, put a name to it or whatever, but I can start to meditate and look at the energy, even if it's as simple as color. Just say, oh, hey, what am I handling here? What's going on? We all handle energy. And when you're working with your clairvoyance, sometimes it's in combination with your crown chakra, your knowingness. So sometimes you see an energy and then you also start to have a knowing of what you're looking at. And so say you're looking at what I'm handling or what you're handling, and you can kind of see it as a color, and then you might have a knowing of what it is you're looking at. Oh, I'm seeing this particular color, and oh, it's kind of this, it seems like an anxious, buzzy energy. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Now you know what it is that you're handling, what it is. But then you kind of take it a step further and go, oh, well, whose is this? Where is this coming from? And you might start to get a sense of, oh, wow, gosh, this is not even my energy. And you can investigate even further and go, where is this originating from? Where is it coming from? And you might start to have a vision of a person or a group of people. And then you kind of just know, oh, wait, this is the energy. This is where it's coming from. It's not mine. So that can be quite a relief, right? So you kind of, oh, this anxious energy, it's not even mine. So what do you do with that? You don't have to fight it or go against it or solve it or figure it out or anything like that. Once you realize, oh, this is not even mine, you just let it go. You drop it. It's a matter of releasing it. And of course, that's a healing. Because then you're going to go, okay, well, if that's not mine, then what is my energy? And I always tend to find my energy underneath, whatever I'm handling. And in my personal cases or examples I can provide, usually once I see an energy that's not mine and decide to let that go, underneath I find my energy, and it's usually, peaceful or maybe I'm amused or happy or excited or whatever it might be. You never lose that energy. It's always within yourself. And sometimes it just gets clouded up. It's kind of, when a sun is shining, the sun's always there, but then, sometimes the clouds, get in the way, and the clouds finally part, and then, oh, there's the sun shining down on me. It can be like that energetically where, hey, the sun's always shining down, it's just something might be in the way of it. And it's just kind of recognizing that, oh, that blockage, the cloud, hey, it might not be your energy, and it's not permanent. It will pass. And being able to have these abilities on, especially clairvoyance, you can see that, you can move the energy faster. You can move it out and return to your normal energy. And that's always incredibly healing and liberating and freeing, and that's why I love doing energy work. And so, yeah, so just because you're feeling certain emotions, thinking certain thoughts, it doesn't mean it's actually your thoughts or your emotions or your energy. And, fear, that's a big emotion, right? And that's a tough one, because the thing is, if you're feeling fear, you can have your own fear about things, right? But if it is so crippling, like overbearing, then you might kind of get a question is, hey, is all this fear that I'm handling or feeling, is it even all mine? And you might start to investigate. Again, if you have your clairvoyance turned on, you can start to see the fear as a color, as an energy. And then you kind of go, okay, well, how much of this is even mine? And you might start to realize, oh my gosh, the reason this has been so overbearing is because a bulk of it, most of it, it's not even my fear. It's other people's fear that's now I'm feeling it's impacting me. Okay, like I said, once you realize that, you can start to just drop that and let that go. And that's going to feel a lot better. How many times, I'm sure we all can all relate to this, where we're experiencing a great deal of fear. It seems too much. And we start to make decisions based in fear. And yeah, it usually doesn't turn out always great. And so, okay, this is the beauty of meditation and having these abilities turned on, because you can, okay, I'm handling all this fear and anxiety or whatever it might be. And okay, I can sit myself down. I can, kind of get a sense of grounded and start to become aware that, all right, this is not my fear. I'm going to drop this, let this go. And you start to feel the shift. You start to feel better, right? And, when things kind of calm down or things get a little more clear and less charged and panicky, that's kind of a better state to be in when you go to make a decision. And yeah, being able to have these abilities on and use your intuition to make decisions, that's always a huge benefit. Because especially when you're tapping into your higher levels of intuition and your highest intuition, you're getting in touch with your higher self. And your higher self has that energy and information about, it's kind of like your mission statement or your blueprint of, hey, what's this life all about? Why did I set this life up? What's the whole point of this? And so you're getting in touch with that part of you and getting in touch with that purpose for this lifetime. And of course, when you get in touch with that, that's going to be very exciting and lead you down more of a path of where it's going to bring out more of that sense of enjoyment and happiness and fulfillment. So it's nice to be able to move out of the fear, whatever you're handling, whatever's clouding, your truth, and so that you can kind of sit down and get grounded and really take a look at things and make decisions where things are more grounded and more clear, and you can see things more clearly, and that you can kind of choose your truth instead of just, oh my God, panicking and I'm afraid and it's too much, and then you make a decision that you might end up not being too happy about. And we've all been there, whether it's small little decisions we make or, massive, big life decisions. But, whether it's small or big, I've always learned that, and usually from many mistakes, trial and error, of course, where, if I am sensing something, my intuition's there, and I disregard it, I don't listen to it, I usually regret it. I usually go, oh man, I knew that, or, why didn't I just follow through with what I was picking up on? So I usually regret it if or I have to pay for it in some way, because I went against myself. I made it pay attention to the intuition, but I didn't really trust it and follow through with it. And sometimes when you go to work with your intuition, following through with it, it can sometimes feel challenging. It can be kind of scary. That's a part of that journey. But I do find that following your highest level intuition is ultimately more rewarding, leads to more fulfillment and happiness, even though sometimes it can be scary. And that, again, that's the thing, is having these abilities turned on, so that, if you're really on your spiritual path, you're really following your truth, you're kind of walking into an unknown space sometimes and stepping out of your comfort zone, being able to really know that, okay, I'm handling this fear, maybe some of it's mine, that's normal, not a problem, but wow, everyone else seems they're afraid for me. They're scared, they're anxious or whatever. And being able to pick up on that and go, oh, wait a second, let me let that go so that I can keep going down my own path, following my own truth, so that you don't get stuck, or you don't, quote unquote, turn back and abandon the ship, abandon what you're really going after that's authentic and truthful to you. So, as you might be able to tell just from, listening or watching here, that this is just one kind of major benefit, a big advantage to have these abilities on, especially clairvoyance. So that's why I'm so happy that I found a school many years ago in my 20s, where I started to learn to meditate and turn these on. And sometimes in life you might be thinking that you're just a certain way, and I felt that way for quite a long time. So when I started learning to meditate and working with my clairvoyance, and started to become aware of energy and start to see energy that's not mine, and that, sometimes it goes, oh, well, if I'm seeing energy that's not mine, that doesn't seem too exciting. But it was quite a relief, because when I realized, oh my God, I thought I was a certain way, I thought this was my energy, I was convinced, and I was just going to have to deal with that the rest of my life. Seeing that clearly is actually kind of a huge moment for me, going, oh, wait a second, this is not mine. Oh God, thank God. And then it becomes a journey of starting to drop that, to let that go, step out of resistance to it. And then it's a huge discovery process of, who am I? Who is my energy? What is my energy like? And that's a fun and really exciting time. I spent a lot of time in my 20s, early 20s, and throughout my 20s, really going through different trainings and doing a lot of meditation, and really discovering and healing myself. And I still learn things about myself. I'm still working on healing myself. But you get to a certain point, for me, I really love this, and this is something I'm passionate about, that I get to a point where, I want to share this with others. It's helped me, it continues to help me, and I want to share this information with other people and help other people on their path, wherever they're at. Doesn't matter if they're just feel like they're starting their journey, their spiritual path, or they're already on it and they want to go a little further. There's so many things that you can do in meditation. Most people think in meditation that you just sit there, close your eyes, and focus on your breath. And sure, that's one component of it. But there's so much more that you can do that I think a lot of people are just not aware of. And that's something that I really want to, show people, that you can do so much more and it can really benefit you. If you become aware of energy and start working with your own energy, this can start to shift things in your life. And that's the fun part, if you can start to have the things that, you've been seeking. It's not a want anymore, that you really start to have them. And that's a big shift. We might want things or need things, and you can start to move in a place where you can actually have them, that it becomes real for you. You can bring it out from within your own self and manifest it and make it real for you. And that's something I'm interested in personally, and also kind of sharing with other people. Anyway, I hope this video was helpful. Feel free to subscribe, and I'll talk with you guys later. See ya.